He's a hype man. How you all doing? We're good? So it's a great day. Is it a great day? So if I say it's a great day, just repeat after me. It's a great day. Is it a great day? Is it a great day? So why is it a great day? Because it's a great day. Okay. All right. It's a great day because you've seen someone you've never seen before. You're sitting next to someone you've never sat next to before. You are going to be learning something you've never learned before. That's why it's a great day. So is it a great day? Right? So let's get down into business. So what do we have on screen? Let's all read together. How true is that? How true is that? So I'm going to do something very crazy, right? What's this? What's this? What's this? All right. Contact creates impact. Impact creates value. And then value generates income. So what's contact? What's contact? So you meet someone, right, that you're creating contact. And when you meet someone, what are you meant to do? Impact, right? You're meant to create impact. Why most people do not go beyond impact to value is because they have nothing to offer when they meet people. Why most relationships do not last is because there is a void between the impact and the value. So they are just at the contact stage. And you can be at the contact stage for 10 years. I'm sure there are people you've known for over 10 years, and then you've never benefited anything from them, right? Correct? So the question is why? Have you ever asked yourself why? Have you? They don't? They don't have what you want. What if they have what you want? Hmm? Have you added something to their life? Have you created value in their life? Have you? So you need to look at that. And then value creates impact, and then in fact, impact generates income. So let me put it this way. You meet someone, you create a value in that person's life. When you create value, value is meant to generate income. Income does not come on its own. It is the value you give that brings income. So there cannot be a breakdown between contact and income. There has to be a chain reaction. There has to be impact and value that will bring the income that you desire. Does that make sense? Right? It makes sense, right? Okay, so the next one, please. How many of you desire one of this? No, serious. How many of you desire one of this? You do, right? You do, right? Okay. Let's continue. Next one. Okay. Authenticity is a brand catalyst, and you were not created to be dormant or stagnant. You were not created to be dormant or stagnant. These are just points I'm just giving you. So just get the points into your head before we get into the main topic of today. Next one, please. Personal branding is you advertising. Have you ever met someone and the person is talking to you and all you have in your head, you are just looking at the person. You cannot hear the person. You are just looking at the person in admiration. Has it happened to you before? Why? What happened? What happened? The person was talking to you. You were not hearing the person. You were just looking at the person. What happened? Has it happened before? You are just admiring the person. Eh? And then at the end of the day, you still bought what the person was telling you without even having an idea of what you bought. Has it happened before? Why? The person is doing something right. Okay, so let me explain what the person was doing. Advertising. The person was advertising. So what's advertising? We hear the word advertising, isn't it? What's advertising? Showcase of advert of products and all of that. So what's advertising? You selling, not in the other way around. All right. Next one. Don't be a commodity that competes on price. Be a brand that delivers value. Do not be a commodity that competes on price. When you do not understand what you're called to do, you cannot attract your audience. And when you cannot attract your audience, you become a commodity. What's a commodity? Who can give me an example of a commodity? Anyone? Rice. Eh? Rice. No, I don't think rice is not a commodity. Eh? What's a commodity? In the market right now, what's a commodity? What can you call? Based on this, don't be a commodity that competes on price. Bread? No, not sorry. Bread, pure water, biscuits, gari, commodity. All right? All right? So, when, what? Floating berries. So, everybody can buy that, isn't it? Everybody can buy that, isn't it? Everybody can buy that. But when you walk into Maitama and you see a building that is worth 250 million naira, what's the first thing that rings in your head? That's not a commodity, man. Right? That has got a brand and has got value. So when you build your brand to a level, you become that kind of thing that when you give a price, even if your price is premium, people will pay for it. Get this, not every market is your market. We're just talking about one of our mentors, Olakunle Sorin or PK. PK would put a price on his book and he would tell you, sorry, it is not for you. He will tell you, I'm not selling a commodity, I'm selling value. So if you cannot afford it, wait till your time. So what am I saying? Build your brand, build your life, build your experiences to the extent that, build your knowledge to the extent that you can actually charge premium for your services. Does it make sense? Next one, please. After this, we'll go to the slide. You act like a commodity when you show your job title. Have you ever seen people and they ask them, so what do you do? Say, I'm the CEO. I'm the MD. I'm the chairman. You've heard people like that, right? So when you do that, you act like a commodity. You become a brand when you share and show value. So I can be a chairman of a company. And when you ask me, okay, I'll give an illustration. Few days ago, I was talking to a set of people. I met someone, a very respected person in the society, and he asked me, what do you do? Guess what I told him? Who can guess? Okay, mommy said, I said I'm an ambassador. Can you guess? Who can guess what I told the person I do? Brand ambassador, okay. Can you guess what I'm sure you should know. What did I do? Okay. Okay, that's what I would naturally tell the person, right? But I told the person I'm a marketer. And he said, so what do you market? I said, I market brands. So normally what I would say is this. With a personable approach and personal inspiration, I help business professionals create executive presence, image, and style that help them attract opportunity in 90 days or less. Was I too fast? Yes. That was the essence. What did you grab? Nothing. So, would you want me to say it again? Okay. Did I catch your attention? Yes. So, whenever you're selling something, there's what we call the elevator pitch. If you cannot sell yourself, your product, or your services in 30 seconds, then you're not ready for the market. Do you understand? Right? Sell yourself in 30 seconds, then you're not ready for the market. So, for instance, I would usually use this example. You have a product you want to sell, and you want to sell it to Dangote. Dangote is a very busy person. He's always on the move, right? Even when you meet him at the airport, he's always on the move. He doesn't fly commercial. He's always going to the private wing, his private jet, and all of that. And you meet him in the elevator, and you need to sell to him in 30 seconds. What will you say? What will you say? I'm sure we're all selling something, isn't it? Other products, or services, we're selling something, right? And you want to sell to him. What will you say? Is it ringing in your head? Am I making sense? Right? It's making you think, isn't it? So usually I teach what is called, one of the things I teach is how to prepare your elevator pitch. So I'll say what I said earlier. I'll say it slowly so that you understand what I said, and it will help you to also craft your personal statement and all of that. So with a personable approach and personal inspiration, I help business professionals create executive presence, image, and style that helps them attract opportunities in 90 days or less. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? It didn't happen overnight. So that will lead me to saying consistency is the key to building your brand. Consistency. Consistency. So you don't do it today and leave it and then expect it to happen tomorrow. You have to continually do it every day. I mean, statistics says whatever you do for 21 days consecutively becomes a habit. Right? So let's go to the slide. Good. Is it okay? Great. Okay. So let's go to the slide. While they go to the slide, I will ask a very random question. Practice makes? Perfection. Practice makes? Perfection. I knew you all say perfection. How did I know? Because that's what we were taught in school, right? Yeah. Crèche. After crèche is what? Nursery. After nursery is what? Primary. After primary is? After secondary. Tertiary. You didn't go to crèche. Okay, so we heard that from little, right? Even from home, isn't it? Our parents will always tell us, practice makes perfect. Practice. 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 So ask yourself critically, while they're switching to the slide, does practice make perfect? Or it's just dawning on you that it doesn't make perfect, right? But you've always lived with that mentality of practice makes. So what does practice make? Huh? Improvement. Practice never makes perfect. Will never make perfect. In the next 50, 100 years, it will never make perfect. All right? It makes improvements. So some people will ask, why does it make improvement? Okay, let's look at a few analyses that I usually like giving. I'm going to remember, what should I use? B2, right? Volkswagen, B2, right? Do we still have it? Eh? But is it modified? If practice made perfect, they would have left it the way it was, right? Okay, let's look at Nokia. 3310. I'm sure most of us had 3310, isn't it? If you made perfect, would Nokia improve on it? No. Let's look at Benz. What was that popular Benz? 190, right? Do we still have 190? No. Do we? Do we have Benz 200? Do we still have Benz, right? That very hard one that if it hits another car, it's trouble, isn't it? So if practice made perfect, they would have left it the way it was. Practice never makes perfect. Oh, I'm sure they're trying to switch to the slide. So, media. Life will never give you what you want, but what does it give you? What you deserve. Life never gives you what you deserve. Life gives you what you demand. So the question is, how hungry are you for it? How hungry are you for it? How hungry are you for it? We are waiting for media guys to. How hungry are you for it? Okay, we're here. Thank you. They've not switched. Is it on the screen now? No, not yet. Okay, yes, we are here. All right, next one. Okay, so what do you see on the screen? Right? A lion with a crown, and the name under it, and then the red color and the black color, right? So what would you say that is? A what? A logo, not a brand. A brand is not a logo. All right? So let's not mistake it. Oh, it's a great day. We already said that. So next one, thank you. Practice makes improvement. So we have that. Next one. So who is this? A thief? Obviously a thief, right? Next slide. Hold on. Malians, right? That's what people are saying. They are gangsters. They are homies. Okay, go back to this slide. Do we have people dressed like that in church? Go back to that slide. Do we have people dressed like this in church? Great. So are they gangsters? But you said they're gangsters. Right? These are Yopis. OPP. Okay. So go to the next one. Who is this? Go to the next one. Next one. Right? So if somebody walks into your office, we've seen 4 different pictures, right? If any of them walks into your office, who will you employ? This one. And the one carrying fire. Why won't you employ the others? All right? No, seriously, right? What will you employ? This ones, isn't it? Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Next one. So I want us to all read. 1, 2, go. You don't dress like a suspect and expect to be taken as a prospect. I believe most of us are church folks. Let me not say church workers, church folks, isn't it? Right? And we are expected to dress like what? How are we supposed to dress like? Prospect. So the question is, how come we dress like suspects to church? I'm going to be shaking some tables, right? Well, yeah. Yeah. So on Tuesday, I mean just on Tuesday, right? Just on Tuesday. After service, someone said to someone, why do you have to wear high heels to church? At that point, it struck me because if it were your office, will you wear the high heels to the office? So why is it that because it's church, you can wear shorts, you can wear slippers, you can wear sleeveless, you can wear t-shirts, and then people are seeing your boxes and all of that. Why is it that you must give God the leftover? Now, I'm saying this from the perspective of a believer and a professional. Because the reason I'm saying is this. Unbelievers go to church and dress as if they're going to their office. Believers come to church and dress as if they're going to play football in the field. And then the unbeliever dresses out to look for a job and then gets the job because one of the criteria is that you must dress well. An unbeliever steps out, dressed shabbily, and prays. Get the word, prays. He will pray all night for that job interview. Get into the interview, and he's not taken. And then he comes out and says, God, why? Is it making sense? Yes, sir. So, we as believers, we follow the principles of God, not the person of God, and neglect the principles. The principles is what takes you far. Right? And we have always heard the word dress to be. Dress to be. So the way you dress is the way you'll be addressed. So when you dress like a suspect and somebody calls you a tout, you have no right to be angry. Is it getting into our heads? Yes, is it making sense? So, we dress shabbily to church. So, I'll digress a little bit, then I'll come back to that. On one of the service days, the first day we posted this, I was in church, pastor was preaching, and God said, do you understand that most of my children do not understand the protocol of the palace? And I paused. I said, what is the protocol of the palace? So when you're going to see a king, how do you dress to see a king? How do you dress to see a king? You see, we've become so familiar with church to the extent, and let me put this way, we've been so familiar with God to the extent that I'm not talking about you, don't worry. I know you're wearing... He's not sagging. Right? So, all I'm saying is this. It's not because I dress well that I'm saying this. It's a thing of concern. I've gone to other churches and I've seen it happen. And believers complain. We know how to pray and we pray too much. Prayer is good, like Pastor will always say, but do the things you need to do. God will not come and dress you up to get to that job interview. All right? And some of you might be thinking in your head, I don't have money to buy any expensive thing. I'll give you a story. A couple of years ago, my brother knows, a couple of years ago, I had Just one blue trouser, one black shirt, one white shirt, one blue shirt. And nobody would ever know. The truth is, buy the Gucci, wear the Versace, come out. When I come out, nobody will look at you. Do you understand? So it is not what you wear that matters, right? It is how you wear what you wear. So in this part of the world, we call it bend down, right? So even if you go to now it's what? Thrift. Wow. See upgrading of name. Thrift. Now, it's not because of where I was. I would always say, don't let your present situation determine your future or your outlook or the way you present yourself. I would always dress. That was what I had at that time. But I knew that if I do not dress well, it's going to show. You don't have to show the whole world your problem, isn't it? So, why not just dress well? I have a mini book I'm writing, and the title is very funny. When I told my friend, he said, "Why?" And I said, the title of the book is "Dress as if you're famous." You know how celebrities dress, right? Yes. I said, "Dress as if you're famous." And the guy said, but you're not famous. I said, "Why shouldn't you be famous?" Right? Why shouldn't you be famous? So let's go into the presentation, please. And I'll still come back to all of that. Life does not give you what you deserve. Life gives you what? Great. And I'm still waiting. Back to the presentation. Let's hit this. Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do men say I am?" And what did they say? Hmm? What was he asking them? Hmm? Media slides, please. So Jesus was, okay, thank you. So what is executive presence? Next slide. What is executive presence? And we don't have it on the screen. Media. Or should we say Wale? Okay, we have it on the small screen. Okay. Do you know any of these three people? So can we mention, who are they? Oprah Winfrey, Tony Elumelu. Who is the other person? That's. Do they have presence? Do they? So if they walk into a room, would people recognize them? Now, even if you don't know them, when they walk into the room, would you turn? Would you? Why? No. You don't know them. You've never seen them. Your first time of seeing them in a room, will you turn to look at them? Why? The question is why. They dress corporately. Their impact. You don't know them. You've never heard of them. This is the first time you're seeing them. Will you turn to look at them? Their appearance. What again? The aura. Okay. The courage. Okay. What again? The what? Confidence. Confidence. That's one word I was looking for. Confidence. They have confidence. They have aura. They have charisma. They can connect, right? So, I mean, if Fela comes in here, he's going to greet everybody from one seat to the other till he greets everybody. If Tony comes here, Tony is just going to laugh and just wave at everybody. If Oprah walks in here, she's going to be all smiling and connecting with everybody. That is one thing we lack as believers. You get into church, you drop your Bible, you sit down, there's a new person beside you, you don't care who the person is. It is you and God, you pray, not knowing that the person sitting next to you is the bank manager that you'll be standing in front tomorrow morning or Monday morning and you'll be interviewing you. And you go to church and you could not even say good morning. Please stay on the slide. Okay, so have you been in a room and someone walks in and it seems that the person owns the room without even saying a word? Have you ever been in an event, maybe in a room or in a conference or in a church, and then somebody just walks in? Please stay on the slide. Somebody just walks in and then it seems as if the person owns the room. Have you ever experienced that? So at that point, what did you tell yourself? You were wondering who the person was, right? And like, who is he? Right? It's the same thing that happens when you walk into a room and nobody notices. Next slide. So think about it. What was it that made you even those around, incline towards the person? Next slide. What made that impact is called executive presence. What is it? Do you know it? Next one. So executive presence is a form of social currency. What's a currency? Any form of? No, it doesn't have to be money. Legal tender, right? Okay, so why is money called currency? Eh? Because it flows. What does current do? Contact creates impact. Impact creates value. Value generates income. What's income? Currency. Next slide. So executive presence is a set of qualities that telegraphs to others confidence, poise, and authenticity. So when people see you, go back. When people see you, these are the three things they see. It's either they see this or they see the opposite. So if they see this, so there are two things to it. Either they see this and do business with you, or they see the opposite and do not interact with you. So the question I'm going to ask you again is, are you generating income through your contacts and the values you're creating? Next slide. So executive presence is the art and the act of developing credibility and managing perceptions. So when people see you, I love this other part. Managing perception. Just hold it there, don't move. Managing perception. So when people see you, there is what I call the 7-11, right? They have 11 impressions in 7 seconds about you. And I'm sure you're wondering, how would someone have 11 impressions in 7 seconds? Right? Okay, so let me ask you. Have you ever met someone, the person is talking to you, and already in your head, you have impressions about the person, but you cannot place it. And then you get home, you begin to analyze the person. Isn't it? Has it happened before? Right? So that is the 7-11 impression. It's just that you've not been able to master it, so you cannot place it at that point. That leads me to say there are 3 types of consciousness: the preconscious, the conscious, and the subconscious. The preconscious, the subconscious, and the conscious. Most of us operate in the conscious, isn't it? Yeah. We do what we are very conscious of. you can never by mistake do something that you have not thought of, isn't it? Right? So, the preconscious is what lives there. So I use myself as an example. Before I got to, all of this space, I would always think in my head, what if I step out and I meet Obama? Or what if I step out and I meet Dangote? Or what if I step out and I meet, before I met Tony Lumolo? What if I step out and I met Tony Lumolo? What am I going to say to him? Now, it's in my preconscious. I'm thinking it, right? Yeah. And I'm telling myself, okay, if you meet them, what will you do? So I'm looking for solution. And then I'm saying, okay, these guys dress well. If I have to meet them, I have to beat them in their dressing. And that's always worked for me. So I walk into a CEO's office and I want to see a CEO for the first time. I study the CEO like, I study him up, down. You know how you shred paper, right? I will shred the person into pieces. I'm like, okay, this is what he does, this is what he does. And then, when I'm showing up for the first time to see him, the last question after every conversation is, you dress better than I do. And at that point, in my mind, I'm like, yes, I did it. Why? First impression would always matter. No matter how you see it, first impression would always matter. So at that point, he says, okay, you dress better than I do. I'm like, yes, because then I'll tell him, because I've been studying you. I like the way you dress, but that's when I begin to sell. So you must find every opportunity to sell your service and your product. And then I'll tell them, your pocket square. Okay, very good, but it's very off. You shouldn't wear this kind of pocket square next time. You should wear this color and wear this color. And then it goes, thank you. Make sense? So how do you create executive presence? Let's go back to the slide. This is done by creating a powerful personal brand. We all know Elon Musk, right? The space guy. Tesla, SpaceX, name all of that. Twitter, now Twitter, right? What again? Huh? Starlink, Orange. All right. If you go to Tesla Twitter handle, right? Go to Tesla's Twitter handle. Go to SpaceX. Go to which other one does it? Starlink. Go to Starlink. Which other one? That's one boring company. Okay, so if you combine the followers of all of these companies together, they are not up to the followers on his personal page. The question is why? People follow his personal brand before they follow his business. So most people follow him, but what does he do? He uses his brand, his personal brand, to sell his business. Does it make sense? Okay, so let me drive it home. You're very thirsty, you want to drink water after leaving the gym, and then you walk into a supermarket, and then you open the refrigerator, and the first bottle of water you see is very dirty. The bottle is dirty, the water is clean. Right? Get it? The bottle is dirty, but the water is clean. Will you go ahead to drink that water? No. Why now, Abba? Are you not thirsty? Why? The presentation of the puts you off. Why? But the content is clean. You can see the content. First impression will put you off. Great. So that is what you do to your brand when you don't have an impeccable personal brand. When people see you, they see this scruffy, untidy, unkept container. But your content is solid. Your content is solid. Your services are solid. But what are they seeing? A dirty container. will they buy? So your container must be in sync with your content. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Is it making sense? Yes. So combine all followers from Elon Musk's companies together. They are not up to the people that are following him on Twitter. Why? People would always follow your personality before they buy into your product. They buy into your person before they buy into your product or your brand or your services. So do you want to sell more? Build your brand. And building brand is not just about dressing well. It's about smelling well. It's about grooming well. It's about sitting straight up. Most people sit and they slouch. So the question is, who broke your back? I mean, why are you sitting like this? Or you're walking like this. You're a guy, man. Do you know what it does to you when you walk like that, when you slouch? It simply tells the person looking at you that you don't have confidence. So the question I would always ask is, do you have confidence in your competence? Do you have competence? Is there something you are competent in? I'm asking, is there something you're competent in? Yeah. Yes, of course, right? But the question is, do you have confidence in that competence? Why you do not have confidence in your competence is because you do not research, you don't study, you don't read. Why most youth cannot talk in public is because they know nothing. It's not because they are timid. It's not because they are shy. And say, why are you not talking? I'm shy. Say, shut up, you know nothing. You're selling the product and you don't know anything about your product, and your customer comes and tells you everything about your product. I mean, what are you doing? You can as well go home. Right? Mm-hmm. So creating interpersonal and communication skills. We come to church, we do not interact, we do not talk, we go outside, we do not do the same thing. So we say, let's go for a networking event, right? You go for a friend's party, you know a friend, and your friend knows friends that you don't know, and then you go to the friend's party, and all you're doing is, you're on your seat, or you're on your phone. So we have used phone, even when we go out on dates, we have used phone as an excuse for not talking. We have used phone as an excuse for not communicating. Personal brand is not just about delivering value, it's also communicating value. So if you cannot sell what you have by opening up your mouth to talk, nobody will know what you're selling. Nobody will understand your services. Nobody will understand the solution you bring to the table. Let's get back to the slide, please. So next one, please. Effective interpersonal and communication skills. How good are your communication skills? I will not be teaching you communication skills. There are a lot of things you can do. There are a lot of courses online you can learn how to communicate. But if you want to do that, yes, we can help you do that. Next one. Next slide. Impeccable personal appearance. How many of you know that guy? He's some people's crush, right? He's some people's crush, right? Yeah. Impeccable personal appearance. we cannot overemphasize this. Okay, so let me ask. Have you ever heard people say in church, this pastor is a bit dressed, so this pastor is always dressing. Why? Why? Why do people say that? Why do people say that? Is it because he wants to dress well? Eh? It's part of the... No, I don't think it's part of the ethics. So. No, it's not part of the ethics. No, it's not part of the ethics. No, some pastors can wear jeans, they can wear t-shirt, they can wear hoodie. Right? Right? But it is what you portray to the people. It is what you portray that attracts. Am I making sense? It is what you portray that attracts. So if you're not portraying an impeccable personal appearance to your staff, see, we've gotten to the space in the world where we don't tell our staff to do stuff anymore. We just do what we want them to do. So it is not, I call it demonstrated leadership, because usually they will say, do what I say. Right? That's what we used to hear. The leaders will tell you, do what I say. Don't do what I do. So as a leader, which I believe we're all leaders here, as a leader, you tell your guys to come at 10 o'clock and then you come at 12. What do you think will happen the next time? They will come by. They will come late, isn't it? So demonstrated leadership. That was just a digression. Let's get back to the slide, please. So the next one is confidence, composure, and charisma. Now, I'm carefully selecting people that I'm using for this slide. How many of you know this guy? Does he have confidence? Does he have composure? Does he have charisma? So are the words connecting with the pictures that we are seeing? Are you learning something? Next one, please. So you may think of executive presence as solely a function of performance. But in fact, it's equally an image, influence, and the social currency that comes from being perceived as an that is the word, expert. So when people see you, do they see you as a mediocre or they see you as an expert? Do they see you as a mediocre or they see you as an expert? Next one, please. Next one. So, the bridge between merit and success is what? Is what? The bridge between merit and success is executive presence. Next slide. So this is a very critical part. It's called the executive presence development model. So we have, if you look at it, we have the external presence and we have the internal presence. Are we learning something here? Great. So under the internal presence, we have impact. We talked about impact earlier, isn't it? We talked about impact earlier, right? So on impact, we have charisma, we have communication, and we have... Don't worry, stop snapping, you will get it. You get the slides. You will get the slides, don't worry. But let's just... Life will not give you what you deserve. Or what you demand. Life will not give you what you deserve. Life will not give you what you deserve. Great. So we have charisma, communication, and then credibility. Right? So under charisma, we have attitude, we have energy, and we have gravitas. So the question I would always ask people is, what is your attitude when something happens? What attitude do you have? So let me ask, this is a random question. This is a random question. Will I walk into a place and not be seen? Random. Will I walk into a place and not be seen? Huh? It's not possible. With me.
You know what came to my head? It's not possible with man. For with God, all things are possible. Right? So the question is, I ask myself every day. So in doing this, I mean, people always wonder why. So I ask, will I ever walk into a place and not be seen or be noticed? It's not possible. Because charisma would always come into play. Effortlessly. You know how you sleep and you are sure of waking up, right? That's what happens. How did he get there? Consistency. I cannot overemphasize that. Consistency. You know how you do something to the extent that you do it unconsciously. It's like people that lie, they lie unconsciously. No, seriously. There are people that just lie, but they just lie unconsciously. They didn't even know. They will lie first. They will lie first before they. I just lied. So, so they unconsciously do it, and then they come back to their consciousness, right? So, are there things you can naturally do unconsciously without? Are there things you do like that? So, do you want to build your brand to the extent that you unconsciously just live in it? Do you want to? So we have communication. So charisma, build charisma. So what's charisma? Charisma is not just, it's not something that can be, no, it can be felt. I was about to say it cannot be felt. Charisma can actually be felt. You can feel it, you can see it, you can experience it. It's like passion, right? It's like passion. When you're passionate about something, what do you do? What do you do? No, say I'm passionate. I want to see your passion. Say I'm passionate. No, I can't. I can't feel it. I can't feel it. Can passion be seen? Huh? Can passion be seen? Can it be felt? Can it be experienced? Can a brand be seen? Can it be felt? Can it be experienced? So if you're passionate about one thing, why can't you be passionate about your brand? Your brand is not your logo. What's your brand? I lost you there, right? I lost you there, right? What's your brand? Huh? Your what? Your your value, okay. What again? Identity. Product? No, you can't be a product. No, you obviously cannot be a product. What you're known for? What you're known for? Is your brand. Okay. Who again? Your content. No. You are your brand. You. So when they see you, they see your brand. What's this? Is this a brand? So when you see this, what do you see? HP. Right? What's this? Which country? Nigeria. When you see this, what do you see? Nigeria. When you see this, America. Identity. So your brand is your identity. So when people see you, they see your brand and they see your identity. What brand is that television up there? So does it make sense, no? So your brand is you. Next slide. So how do you command a room without saying a word? How do you walk into a place, you don't say anything, but you're saying volumes? Next slide. Next slide. Don't slouch. I don't know how I'm going to keep saying this because I'm saying this out of what I've seen youth do over and over. I've seen business people do over and over. They slouch and it's not humility. You say, I'm humble. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Do you know what humility is? What's humility? I was speaking to, I think last week while I was in Ghana, I was speaking to someone. I said, what's humility? What's humility? Eh? Openness of heart. Humbleness of heart is humility. Yeah. What's humility? Eh? Humility is consistency. Modest. Discipline. Teachability. Thank you very much. I like that word. Teachability. When you say someone is humble, let me put it in this context. You know so much. You know so much to the extent that you can actually sit down and listen to a child. That's humility. That is being humble. Humility is not you know too much, then you are bugaing around. Nobody can talk to you, nobody can correct you. Or you walk like this. And you are not humble. Humility is your ability to be able to sit down, even with your knowledge, and listen to a child. So, how do you walk into a room and command the room without saying the word? Stand up straight. So I'm using myself as an example here. I always stand up straight, no matter what. Stand up straight. So let's go. We need to wrap up. So it's a simple thing that often ends up communicating the most. Shoulders back, head held high, eyes straight ahead. Good straight posture often indicates leadership. Often would always say, this guy, this lady is in a position of leadership. And it shows confidence. It tells the audience that you are in control. It conveys the message that you have confidence in your competence. Is it making sense?
Yes, sir.
Next slide. To be open to opportunity, keep your arms uncrossed. I do not understand why you are having a conversation with a business conversation and your hands are like this. Benny, what are you hiding? Eh? Next slide. Let's see what it says. Resist the urge to cross your arms. Crossing your arms can make you feel safe and secure, right? But says what? Psych mechanic says defensive usually manifests as discomfort, uneasiness, shyness, or will anyone want to do business with someone that is insecure? So at that level, these guys are already thinking, let me see, like the Americans will say, way beyond your pay grade. Have you ever watched a movie and then maybe an FBI movie, and then somebody goes to another office to get a file and they say, he's beyond your pay grade? Yes. Right? So these guys are beyond your pay grade. And for you to be able to be in that space with them, you have to upgrade to that pay grade. Am I making sense? Yes. So it's not about, let me play low. How long will you keep playing low? How long will you keep playing low? Huh? My brother here, you all know him, right? He's right in his behavior as he's not the one I'm talking to. He's right. You all know him, right? Yes. Most of you know him, right? Yes. Please put your hands together for my brother. He's my brother. And he's here. He's always wanting to listen to me. So he's one of the very few people that get things in our space. So with his permission, I will tell you guys, he's going to be one of the youngest owner of a university very soon. So if he wants to think within his age mate and pay grade, will he bear that? So when they call for university owners, will he be among them? Yes. And they call for meeting, yes. And he will just show up. And you are saying, God said I will be a millionaire. God will make you a billionaire. And you are sleeping in your house. And you're not dreaming one dream. You're not dreaming one dream. Please, let's go back to this slide. All right, so you do not want to dig yourself out of a hole once you open up your mouth to speak. So don't start the conversation with your arms crossed. Never do that. All right? Next slide. Don't do this. So to be engaged, hold eye contact. Now see the word. Eye contact. Hold eye contact is in caps. Right? Did I say stare? I didn't say stare. I said hold. So there's a difference between holding eye contact and staring. Okay, so let's see the next slide. Everyone knows that eye contact is important, so I wouldn't be the point. But here are two good reminders about eye contact that are a bit more overlooked in my opinion. So, I mean, you can have your own opinion. A lot of times you will hear the phrase make eye contact, isn't it? Especially when you're speaking, right? Or when you're singing or when you're ministering, you say make eye contact, look at people. Don't make eye contact. Hold eye contact. How do you hold eye contact? So I've found that making eye contact isn't quite as effective as holding eye contact. Second, aim to hold eye contact both when you're speaking to someone. So how do you hold eye contact? You don't look at the person eye to eye. Where do you look at? Huh? Where do you look at? Where is the eye? If you look at the person's face. You look at? You look where? Side view. Which one is side view? You look side view. If you're looking at side view, somebody's eyes will definitely be at the side view. So where do you look at? Straight to the eye. That would be making eye contact. You're not supposed to make eye contact. You're supposed to hold eye contact. So where do you look at? Where do you look at? Anywhere my eyes sleeps. Yeah, your forehead. The forehead. The lips. Anywhere my eyes stand. So let me help you. At that point, you are looking at the forehead and above the head. Now, if you're looking at someone's forehead, it will seem as if you're looking at the person's eye to eye, right? Isn't it? So try it. So just turn to the person sitting next to you and just. Try it. Right? They are eyeing you. So hold eye contact. Next one. Next slide. Next slide. Next one. No. Go back. Great. No. Go forward. To be intrigued, stay off your phone. I talked about this earlier. You go to a networking event. You're supposed to be interacting, but you are on your phone. You invite someone for lunch. You're supposed to have lunch with someone, and then you're on your phone. You are in church. The message is going on, and you're on your phone. Yeah, you can be using your phone to type. Right? Or you are gisting with your friend. Your friend is talking to you, but you're on your phone. Let's go back to the slide. Let's see what this has to say. Next one. Okay, so if you're not actively speaking, especially if you are standing off to the side of a conversation, or if you're in the background of a meeting, you are most likely to feel slighted, slightly uncomfortable, isn't it? I mean, you go for a meeting, no one is talking to you, isn't it? So you tend to just, pull out your phone, right? When this happens, the temptation to pull out your cell phone is strong. I'm sure nobody's talking to me. Let me press my phone, right? That's what you think. We use our phones for a lot of things, but one thing of the most unhelpful uses is to appease our discomfort and create an escape from what could be an awkward situation. Next slide. Don't do it. If you want to communicate your presence, keep the phone in your pocket. Be engaged. Even if you aren't actively speaking, show that you are able to withstand the silence. Most people do not know how to listen. They are talkers. When someone is talking, they are talking. How will you hear and understand what the person is saying? Have you ever been with someone on the phone? You're trying to explain something to the person, and the person is talking. They just keep talking and talking and talking. So, there are differences between talkers and speakers, right? I was in Ghana and someone said, this guy is a motivational speaker. He does this. I said, okay, let me listen to the guy. And the guy comes and the guy was just talking. He wasn't speaking. So there's a difference between speaking and talking. What does talking do? Talking comes in here and lives here. But speaking gets into your soul. It gets into your being. So would you say I've been speaking or I've been talking? So next time, before you open up your mouth to say something, ask yourself, are you about to speak or are you about to talk? Making sense? Is it making sense? Yes. Okay, let's go to the next one. The foundation of executive presence is self-confidence, self-esteem, self-image, and self-worth. What's the first thing there? Go back, please. What's the first thing? No. Forget the confidence. Self. So it's self-confidence, self-esteem, self-image, and self-worth. It's not showing there. So where's the first partaker of the foundation? You. You. Next slide. Always remember this. Your presence speaks even before you say a word. I don't know why it's not showing. Your presence will always speak before you say a word. When you walk into a place, people are they're already hearing so many things about you. Your shoe is speaking, your watch is speaking, your hairdo is speaking, your body is speaking, whether it's smelling or it's oozing or it has fragrance. All right? And when you open up your mouth to speak, people are turning their faces. You've not spoken yet, oh, right? So you're about to speak, but your presence is already speaking. So whenever you walk before you even leave your house, always tell yourself this. What is my presence going to say today? Before I say a word. What is my presence going to say today before I say a word? For those of us that are, in the public space, how many of you have gone for interviews before? I mean, you've been interviewed for a job. Did you get the job? Yes. You got the job, right? Okay. Did you dress well to the job that day? Like, exceptionally? Yes, sir. You think it's because you spoke English? No, sir. They give you the job before you even started speaking. Your appearance. So your appearance is basically 80%. So you walk into my office, I'm interviewing for a position. The first thing I'm looking at is your appearance. Because I might be employing you to just show up. I'm not employing you to say anything. You might be dumb, you might be an illiterate, but if you dress well, I might just employ you because you dress well. And all I need you to do is just show up. Just look fine, show up. There are people that are employed to just look fine. Do you know that? Yes. So why are you not looking fine and get employed? A couple of years ago, we had a very crazy position in one office. It's called the listening officer. All he does is listen. They employ him to listen. He does not say a word. So he goes to the meeting with the CEO, he sits down, all he does is listen. Have you ever heard of that kind of position? Listening officer. Hey, Tiber. You guys are you ain't starting. That's all he's been paid to do. Listen. And he's paid millions. So you can imagine that someone is just sitting down to just listen to what people are saying. You will listen beyond the one you are told to even listen to. It's hard, right? It's hard. So you understand? He said it's hard. Let's go to the next one. Okay, go. Go to the next one. Keep going. Keep going. Let's run this. Keep going. Keep going. All right. No, go back. Go back. Okay, I said this earlier, right? So can we all read it now? So if someone should ask you, what do you do? What will you say in 30 seconds? Thirty seconds. Right. 30 seconds.
Okay, my name is Bright Magada.
Nobody wants to know your name. Did I mention my name in that statement? Did I mention my name? Hold on. As a matter of fact, the people at that space don't want to know your name before they know your solution. So forget your name is irrelevant at this point, right? What they want is solution. What can you do for me?
Okay, I'm a leadership consultant. I do trainings for company staffs, trainings for teachers,
And
the likes.
you do trainings. Did anybody hear any solution in anything he said? There was no solution. He just said you do trainings. Anybody can do training. You're a leadership consultant. Is that a solution?
But with that, I've communicated with that.
No, you have not. So
Many
that's
people try to say, okay, let's get to know what and what.
no. So how do you get their attention first before they even tell you to get to know what and what and what? So let's go back to that statement. It's very important. Let's go back to that statement. So there are words there that are in red, right? The third one is what? Help. All you said was, yeah, leadership consultant. Okay. How do you help me since you're a leadership consultant? You should be able to tell me. Do you understand? Is it making sense? And then what's the next one? Executive presence. The next one is image and style. That helps again. And then, what are the last one? Attract opportunities. Every businessman at the top wants to attract opportunity.
He wants to make more money from the money he's making. Right? So the question is, how do you want to help me make more money? Does it make sense? So let's go again. Let's go again. 30 seconds. Quiet, everyone. Let's go again. Shoot.
Okay, I'm a leadership consultant. I would be able to communicate effectively to drive your vision with your company staff so that they can be able to bring your dreams to reality.
All right, you're getting there. So it's not a one-day thing, so you can try it again. Please, let's put our hands together for him. Come on. Who wants to try? Who wants to try again? Anybody wants to try?
Okay, so
Yeah.
if I'm going to rephrase what he said,
Yeah.
so I'll say I'm a leadership consultant. I help individual organizations in the process of training to maximize their potential to bring in more profits for the organization as individuals.
Boom. Does that make sense? Please put your hands together for. Right? So when you go back home, now this is not like a one-day thing. You have to keep doing it to the extent that you can actually say it. I usually like saying, say it the way I say it. Right? Say it so fast in like 10 seconds and get their head wobbling. Confuse them. And then let them just hear the minute one, opportunities, help. And then they will say, come. Say that thing again. Do you understand? So with a personable approach and personal inspiration, I help business professionals create executive presence, image and style that help them attract opportunities in 90 days or less. No, I've said it to myself over and over to the extent that I can say it in 10 seconds. And then you'll be wondering, what is this guy saying? I had opportunities, I had help, I had 90 days. What can you do in 90 days? That is the question that comes. What can you do in 90 days? And I come down and said, sir, this is what I do. And I tell them gently, and then it gets into their head and like, okay, so what do we do? This is my card. Call me. Can I have your number? Can I have your card? That's what happens. So not the one you say, my name is an appraiser. I'm from one village. I just came to Abuja. I'm selling houses. I'm selling land. Before you finish, the man would have gone. Do you understand? Right? So you need to be able to captivate them in seconds to the extent that it will keep ringing in their heads. Right? Okay, let's go. Let's continue. So we have to be fast about this. Okay, so this is one popular word. I mean, my brother knows this word. It is not what you don't have that limits you, but what you have and you do not know how to use it. So what is it that you have and you're not using? What is it that you have and you're not using? Next one. When people first meet you, they immediately have opinions about you and what you represent. I talked about this earlier. Okay, those impressions include things about character, efficiency, and friendliness. Next ones. I talked about the 7-Eleven, right? So it's either they like you, they dislike you, or they are indifferent. Next one. That would largely determine the satisfaction of your experience and theirs. Next one. So this is the 7-Eleven, right? So they think the first thing that comes is either you're clean, or you're warm, or you're credible, knowledgeable, responsive, friendly, helpful, understanding, you're courteous, confident, and professional. This is what comes to their mind when you talk to them. This is the impression they have about you. And don't blame them. It's an unconscious thing. Next one. Personal brand is the identity of you as a specific product, service, or business. Next one. Are you getting it? Next one. So you people are just saying
what's your brand? And you said logo, products. You have become products. Eh? The brand is you. The brand is you. Next one. What do we have here? Logos. Next one. And what is that? Next one. Please, I need you to say this. Next one. Next one. Next one. So your personal brand is the powerful, clear, positive idea that comes to mind whenever other people think of you. It is what you stand for, the values, the abilities, and actions that others associate with you. Next one. Next one. Next one. So why does your employee or client pay you? You do what? You do what? Next one. Value. Next slide. Building value is not enough. You need to communicate it. And that also is. Next one. Personal branding is communicating value. Next one. So look at your hands. Everyone, open your hands. Look at your hands. Look at your hands. No, look at your hands. So next slide. Keep looking at your hand. What do you see there? What does it represent? Your what? Your identity. Next one. What does your hand represent? Your income. What does it also represent? Next slide. Next one. You're wired and shaped for a purpose. And the word shape is, next slide. Spiritual gifts, your heart and your passion, your abilities, your personalities, your experiences, you deliver and dominate. Your next one. Your brand is what people think of you when they think of you. Just go on to the next till you get to continue. We'll come back to that. Continue. When you think of him, who do you think of? No, he's TD Jakes already. When you think of TD Jakes, what do you think of? What do you think of? Preacher, singer. What again? He's a business guru, right? When you think of Jakes, what do you think of? Church, business guru. What again? He's a writer. What again? Filmmaker, author, and all of that. Next slide. When you think of Nelson Mandela, what do you think of? What? Next slide. When you think of him, what do you think of? Orator, right? Next slide.
Music.
When you think of Beyonce, what do you think of?
Music.
Right? Next slide. When you think of Elion, next slide. When you think of Dangote, when you think of Branson, what do you think of? Virgin Atlantic, name them, hotels and all of that. Okay, next one. Opera. What? When you think of opera, what do you think of? What? Talk shows and all of that. Next slide. Look at them. Next one. Okay. This is getting interesting. Next one. Next one. Next one. You don't know her. What's written there? Queen Reina. She's the queen of Jordan. Next one. Okay, pause the slide there. Let me ask a question. When your picture pops up, what do people think of? When you pop up, what do people think of? It might sound funny. It might sound playful. It might sound exciting to say. But until people begin to think of you based on solution when they think of you, then there's nothing to it. Then there's nothing to it. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. So when you see this, what do you think of? Right? Next one. Next one. Next one. Okay, great. So I quoted the scripture earlier. Jesus asking the disciple when he said, what do people say? What are they saying in town? What are they saying in town? What are they saying? So now Jesus came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, asked his disciple, what do the people say that the Son of Man is? What was Jesus asking his disciple? What are people talking about my brand? What are they saying about my brand? That is Jesus asking. What are they saying about my brand? And he said, some of them said you're John the Baptist, some of them said Elijah, some of them said Jeremiah. And he said to them, what can you say my brand is? You've been with me. What can you say my brand is? So how did Jesus make his brand stand? Let's look at the following text. So Mark 6:11. The syndicate session was supposed to be for church workers, right? So we can actually look at the scriptures a bit, isn't it? Right? We can? Okay, great. Even if there are Muslims here, everything they are doing in the world came from the Bible. So let's not get it twisted. So Mark 6, he came to his hometown, and many heard him. Who heard him were astonished, and they said, where did this man get all of this? Is this not the carpenter? You see, familiarity, I said it earlier, familiarity will always bring Jesus. Familiarity would always do what? So they were familiar with him already. Is he not the son of Mary, the brother of James and Judas and Simon, and not his sisters there with him? And Jesus said to them, prophets are not without honor in their own towns, right? So let's look at next slide. Go back. Just keep going. Keep going. No, keep going. They could not accept that, so keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Stop. Okay. And they were astonished at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. What does this say? Having confidence in your competence. He had confidence in his competence. He knew what he was doing. As we will say, someone knows his onions, right? That's what they will say. So in a different way, in a more
In my own way, I would say, instead of saying someone knows his onions, I would say the person has confidence in his competence. Do you understand? So, let me just say this before I proceed. Try to learn alternative words for regular words. For instance, you're in a meeting and you're talking to a CEO. Instead of saying buy, we're going to buy this. Rather say we're going to purchase. Do you understand? It makes you look professional. So look for alternative words for regular words. It just changed the dynamics. It will change the dynamics anytime, any day. And they will look at you more professionally. Do you understand? Okay, continue. Go. All right, stop. So the other key to Jesus' brand power, relevance, is brand meets needs. This is very important. So what do we have in the middle? The Jesus brand. What was his brand taking care of? The sick, the demon-possessed, the sad, the ignorant, the brokenhearted, and the sinner. Those are the solutions. These are the problem he came to solve. So the question is, what is your brand solving? Next slide. So what does the Bible teach our brand to stand out? Okay. Let's look at 1 Peter. But ye are chosen, a royal, a dedicated nation, God's own purchase. So is that a brand? We are actually God's product, isn't it? So every brand has a product or a service. Great. Next one. So, but you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a dedicated nation, okay, that you may set forth, right, the wonderful deeds, display the virtues and perfection of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. So have you ever walked on the streets and then you saw a house and the first thing that came into your mind was Jesus? And you said it in your mind and then said it loud. Right? You said it in your subconscious and then said it in your conscious. Right? Jesus. Or you saw a car drive past and you said, oh my God. Right? Has it happened to you before? That is what people are supposed to say when they see you. Is it making sense? Yes, sir. So you show up as a royal priesthood. So let me put it this way, 2 dimensions. We are the priests and we are also the king. Revelations 5:10, isn't it? God has made us kings and... Come on. God has made us kings and priests to reign on the earth, right? Good. So there are 2 dimensions to it. You are supposed to be the king and the priest on the earth, right? But let me clarify it a little bit. So as a king, you're supposed to reign here, isn't it? So who do you go to take instructions from? God. Don't be lost. All right? So you go to God as a priest, right? You're facing God as a priest. Who is backing you? Who is behind you right now when you're facing God? The world, right? They are behind you. You're facing God. You're talking to God. You're receiving the information, right? And when you turn, you become what? The king. Does a king dress in rags? Do you exercise authority in rags? So when you turn and face the world, how are you supposed to look like? Royalty.
The world will not listen to you when you look like a slave. The CEO that's supposed to sign that $1 billion contract to you will not sign it when you're looking like a beggar. Because the first thing that comes to their mind is this one. One will sign the money. He's driving a Ferrari first, or he will just leave the country. Am I being practical? So you go to God as a priest, get instruction for the people, and then face the people as a king. When you're facing the people, you should look like a king. Why most of us are not dominating is because we look like paupers instead of looking like kings. It's even in the scripture says, a strange thing that happened. Slaves are riding horses and kings are. Let's use our normal day-to-day, our normal English. Slaves are riding Bugattis, Lamborghinis, AMGs. They're living in mansions. And then kings are trekking. Does it make sense? Did I come down to it? So, the next slide. This next slide is very important. I'm going to break some tables here now. What does it say? Spiritually speaking, salt is considered the greatest neutralizer. It can help cleanse, heal, and balance energy while repelling negative vibrations. We are the salt of the earth, right? And then you talk to believers and say, why don't you talk to some, associate with some unbelievers? No, I cannot associate with them. I'm a believer. I'm not of the world. Hello? You're of the world. God brought you into the world. You are in the world and you're not of the world, but you are in the world. So what is salt? If God says you are the salt of the earth, what are you supposed to do? Yes. What are you supposed to do? No, what are you supposed to do? Taste. How do you add taste? Do you add taste without or within? So why do you stay away from them? Hello? Religion. Thank you very much. So how do you change that which you stay away from? Is it making sense? Most of the people I interact with at the top, president, prime minister, they're unbelievers. Most of them are unbelievers. So if I want to say, I'm not of this world, I'm a believer, I will not interact with sinners. Hello? Will I get to where I am? The money you are looking for, where is it? Is where? It's at the top. And most of them at the top, they're unbelievers. So if you have to get that money at the top, where do you have to be? At the top with them. Does that mean you're an unbeliever? No. Let's go this way. When you're cooking food, right? You get the salt and put it into the food. Do you see the salt when you're eating the food? Do you feel the salt? Yes. So you're supposed to get into their circle. Don't be like them. Infiltrate them. Get them to feel you. Get them to feel you. Get them to taste of you. Because if you don't get in, there is no way you can make the change. Does it make sense? You are the light of the world. Next slide. You are the light of the world. You are the light. And you're not lighting anything. You're not lighting nothing. Your battery is dead. You cannot even charge it. Oh, you're charging it now. They are charging it now, right? But see, my concern is the body of Christ. My concern is the body of Christ. Because through this, I've been out there, I've met people, I've met races, people from different races, people from different countries, from different nationalities. And the peculiar thing about them is this: they understand the system of the world. But believers, we understand God and not understand business. We pray and pray and pray. Pastor will always say, prayer is good. Pray, but do what you have to do. Understand the principles that work out there. Add it up with the Bible that we know. You see, you are the light. So tell yourself, does the light show up as darkness? Does it?
No.
So if you are to show up, how do you show up? You show up better than they do. Do you understand? Show up better than they do. I'll give you a story. I met someone in Dubai 2 years ago. And the guy said, when he's a believer, and he said when he started doing marketing, he didn't have money. So he bought a fake Rolex watch. Nobody will come to check your watch if it's fake or not, isn't it, right? So he bought a fake Rolex watch. And, he went and bought a couple of suits and all of that. And dressed well. He would dress well every day. And the first thing he would show up is his fake Rolex. Fake in quotes. Nobody knew it was fake, all right? Imitation. Or a copy of the original, right? So, and people will always ask him, what do you do? And he said, I'm a marketer. And he would just keep talking and gesticulate with his hands. People will always see the watch. And from doing that, he broke even in 2 weeks. Because the people at the higher echelon thought that he was wealthy. For him to be wearing a Rolex, that guy must be something. He must know something. So they will always want to listen to him. He had the principles. He had content. Even though he didn't have a very good container, but he had to create something. We talked about content and container earlier, right? Your content and your container must be in sync. So he had to prepare his container so it doesn't look like the rough bottle. And in 2 weeks, he broke even. In 2 weeks. What did that teach me? It's very simple. So you can actually show up and they will think you own more money than they do. No, it's not packaging. We've used that word wrongly so many times. It's the perception you create. So the idea is not to show up. There's a word I'm looking for. Expensive. It's not to show up expensive, but to show up classic. So you have to meet up at their level. If not at their level, be close. There is a boy in Lagos that follows Tony Elumelu to the extent that the boys wear white shirts, red tie, red socks, Monday to Friday. That's what Tony wears every day, Monday to Friday. That's what he wears. So the boy has followed Tony to the extent that he now wears that. We always hear fake it until you make it. Can I correct that? Practice it until it sticks. So, like we said, practice does not make perfect, but what does it make? Improvement. In your strive for perfection, what you get is excellence. Did you get that? Yes.
in your strive for perfection, what you get is excellence. Next slide, please. Let's round off. Okay, so let's go back. No, go back. House built on top of the hill, right? So I've already talked about all of that. So make yourself stand out. Go back. Just go back to where we had the color psychology. Then we'll round off. Keep going. Any question? Why they're going back? Any question? Yeah, let him keep going back. Go back. Go. Okay, stop. Question before I continue. We're running off now.
Okay, you actually talked about, there was a time you were telling us familiarity, Jesus experience and thereabout. How do you, with your brand, how do you limit familiarity in trying to communicate your brand effectively to those people who possibly are familiar with you, and outside there they see your brand, but to them they don't see your brand.
They know you now, right? So how do you deal with such people?
How do you deal with such
They know you. Now Bright, now we know Bright.
No, not me basically. Just
right? That's what they say. We know you now, not be you, right? So let me tell you what I do. How someone calls your name will tell you how the person respects you. So I create boundaries. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many years I've known you. Once you disrespect my brand, I keep you as an outsider. Irrespective of who you are, where you're from, how many years we've been together. I respect people, but hey, I'm going somewhere. And where I'm going to, you don't have it in your head. So you can't come into my space, like Pastor will say, I don't have friends. Pastor will always say he doesn't have friends. There's a limit to your circle. You have to limit that circle to people that respect and have value for what you do. Do you understand? Irrespective of who the person is, the person can be your brother. But once he disrespects your brand, no, the person shouldn't be in your space. To the extent that when you're speaking at a platform and they are privileged to sit down and listen, they will value. And when next they come to you to ask for advice, that's when you tell them, I have a consultancy fee actually, and then you have to pay that first before we continue. Does that make sense? Yes. So people will learn to respect you. Bro, am I saying correctly?
Yes, please.
It's simple. Don't let no one disrespect you or disrespect your brand or whatever you do.
Preach.
Don't. Yeah, please do.
The Bible talks about Jesus Christ, that when he went to where he was born, that people didn't really respect him. So people that are going to be familiar with you, whether you like it or yes. Mm-hmm. It's natural, it's human. So one of the things you can do to yourself is not just only to create boundaries, but you start working on yourself. Mm-hmm. You start becoming the best version of yourself. And then people don't deny success. So, for example, I'm sure you have classmates in high school that you don't see now, and whether you like it or not, you are doing like this. I'm sure we all have, because I have some classmates that when I see them now, it's like, guy, good afternoon. I'm very cautious. Not because there were no boys that was beaten in high school, but life had differentiated all of us. Mm-hmm. They've worked on themselves and they've become better versions of themselves. And I don't have a choice than to respect them. So one of the things you want to do for yourself, apart from creating boundaries, is you start your own personal growth. Start working on yourself, start developing yourself, and we all will see it. Thank you.
Great. Like I said, nobody denies success. Payback.
He's the best payback.
Best payback. Any other question before we do the last session? Any other question? Yeah, sure. There's a question.
In regards to keeping eye contact, in a case where,
Holding eye.
oh, sorry, holding eye contact. In a case where there are more than one or two people and you need to hold eye contact, how do you go about it? Or you are on a stage?
On the stage, I'm on the stage.
Yes.
Like what I'm doing.
Yes. How do you?
I'm looking at everybody, but I'm not seeing anybody.
So how do you hold that?
Not everyone can do that. You can. She has already murdered herself before we did. No, actually, everybody can do that. Practice makes. Practice makes. So just keep practicing. Do you understand? It's very possible. You can do it. Just look above. It will look as if you're actually looking at the person. They will think you're looking at them, but you're not looking at them. See, let me tell you the trick. The trick is enjoy your space. The space belongs to you. Enjoy it. Talk as if you're talking to your friend. Do you understand? It's that easy. Just be yourself. Now the truth is, it is still difficult for most people at the top to even do public speaking. Do you understand? So don't think it's magical. People that have spoken for over 20 years, they still have this sense of fright before they go up. Do you understand? It even happened to me today. Do you understand? But you know what I did? I'll tell you what I did. So I went out. I went to the answer, right? IWC. I went into IWC. And I said something I learned from my mentor, Fela Dotoye. So Fela would always either get into the washroom and then say it's showtime. He would just pace around and say it's showtime. And the next thing he would start jogging. He would just start at the place and start jogging. It's showtime. He is psyching himself because he's anxious. He's fidgety. Like, what am I going to say? What if I say the wrong thing? Do you understand? So it happens every time. It will keep happening. For instance, George Bush. You all know George Bush, right? He would always put a pin in his pocket. And then he will have his hand in his pocket to keep pinching himself, to keep him alert. So everybody has different techniques of managing stage, right? So find your own technique. Yeah, sure. Okay, sure.
Practice healthy conversation with friends.
Yeah.
So when you have the opportunity to speak to your friend,
speak healthy conversations. Okay, today I'm going to speak to you about a news that I heard. So let's talk about this news. Let's gist about it. So I'll give you the lowdown of this, and I'm going to be speaking to you, looking into your eye while I do this. Practice healthy conversation help too. So when you have to speak to a larger audience too, it's just the same thing.
Great. We're good, right? Any other one before we move? Okay, sure.
So my question is this: it's 2 in 1. So, like the question is 2 in 1.
2 in 1.
Yeah. So, I didn't learn gesticulation. I think I was born with it. So whenever I talk, I gesticulate. Now people are like, bro, can you not reduce it? It can be too much sometimes. So, is there anything like excessive gesticulation? First of all. Now my second question is this: can you have too much charisma? That's the second question. Yeah.
So, first question, gesticulation, right? If it can be too much. It cannot be too much. I've been talking with my hands since. So let me tell you something. You can walk into a place. I think I said it earlier. Without saying a word, but you're saying a whole lot. So the way you walk, the way you move your hands, the way you move your head, the way you roll your eyes, you're speaking. So your gesticulation is part of it. Do it. If it makes you comfortable, if that's how you can be comfortable while you're speaking, do it. There's nothing like SS. Right? It's like saying someone overdresses. Well, someone can overdress. Do you understand? It's called the rule of 13. I won't teach that today. It's called the rule of 13. And then the other one, too much charisma. You can never have too much charisma. Let it overflow. Do you understand?
It's easy. Let it run over. Let it overflow. Have it. Own it. Let it be part of you. Wake up with charisma. Even when you are waking up charismatic. Do you understand? Even when you're strolling out to buy something, stroll out with charisma. Somebody said to me, we can never catch you dressed down. Why? I'm like, why? Are we safe? These people. It's allowed.
It's part of the relationship.
It's part of the relationship. All right, so charisma can never be, too much. Rule of 13. So let me just say that, rule of 13. So whenever you're dressing and you have more than 13 accessories on your body, you're overdressed. Okay, so for the female, you have 1, 2, some have like 3, right? So 6, and they have what again? 7, the hair, 8, your glasses, 9, watch 10, 11, 12, what again? The handbag, 13, 14. So if it's more than 13, you're overdressed. And then the fashion police will be looking for you. All right, let's go to the slide, then we conclude. Now, this is a very important, I think it's very important because I see people wear, pardon me, I see people wear red shirts, yellow tie. And hold on. And then they wear, and in my head, these are supposed to be believers. As in leaders, not believers. Leaders. You're a leader. You came out from your house. And you did not think that somebody might just have accidents. You have a question? Okay. I've not gone far. You already have.
My question it's simple. Is it actually, I see people, I don't do that, but I don't know how balanced it is. Like wearing a striped tie on a striped shirt.
Okay.
How balanced it is, how perfect it is.
Okay. You are asking
it's wrong. I actually had the position that is wrong. I said I actually have the position.
It's what people say.
Yeah.
That is wrong.
Because while in school, I was a member of Junior Chambers International, JCI.
JCI, okay.
Yes.
What year was that?
2009 to 2013.
Okay.
Yeah. I was a member of Junior Chambers International. Now, when we go for parliamentary assembly, when we don't wear, most time, before you are permitted to speak like this, you must be completely dressed.
Okay.
Yes, that's the passcode.
Dressed,
like you must not wear a striped shirt on a striped tie.
Okay.
You must put on socks. You must have a socks, yes. Then yes, if you don't have socks, non-socks, you can't speak. You'll be fined and things like that. So that gave me yeah, and that gave me the impression that a striped tie on a striped shirt, it's informal. So I don't know, to clarify that.
Okay, so let me clarify that. You can actually wear a striped shirt with a striped tie.
Color contrast.
Do you understand?
depending on the variation of the stripe. Okay? So let's. What you cannot wear, let me emphasize it. What you cannot wear is traditional and sneakers.
Break this table.
Listen. No, listen. It is very unethical. Very unethical. Very unethical. Will you see? Let's be very straight here. Will you see? We say we want to get to the top. Will you see a professional at the top wearing a sneakers and a trad? Okay, imagine Dangote wearing sneakers with a bada, and you want to go and talk to him. No. Let's, if we want to do global standard, let's do global standard. Where did that come from? Where did it come from? Americans. Americans will wear suit, complete suit with tie and sneakers. Why? Because it's their thing. It is their thing. It's their thing. Would you see a British man, a proper British man, wear sneakers and a suit? Even when you see a British man wear native, he will not wear sneakers. He won't. So please, I don't know where we got that from. It is unethical. Please, I beg you.
Wardrobe secretary choir.
All right, so let's go. So Bright, you can wear striped tie with striped shirt, depending on the variation. Slide. Let's run. Let's do this. Psychology of color. So like I was saying, we know that colors speak, right? Every color speak. Every color. Whether black, brown, gray, purple, indigo, velvet. Okay, so the darker the color, the greater the perception of authority. So black. You all know I love black. So 99% of my wardrobe is actually black. It's that bad. Now, it didn't used to be like that. But I started studying the psychology of color, and then one time I just switched. I stopped wearing suit for, I think, for 2 years. I was wearing trad all through. So people were wondering, is he okay? Has he become a Muslim? Do you understand? At that point, I wanted to just switch my brand. So, there's a way people know you for. I think I need to say this. So, for everybody seated here, there are 3 perceptions about you. 3. The way the world sees you, the way you want the world to see you, and the way you see yourself. So, they had a way of seeing me. And I wanted to tell them, okay, you are seeing me in a different light. So I switched. I think I wore trad for about 2 years straight up. And then they were all black. So black signifies authority. It shows that you're strong, you're dominant, you're controlled, you're sophisticated. The negative part is that it is intimidating. So whenever you wear black and enter a place, everybody's first wondering, who is he? Right? And then red. Power, authority, energy, passion, drive, determination, courage. Navy blue shows confidence, trustworthy, honest, reliable, integrity, responsibility, calming, and reduces tension. Shades of blue, openness, self-sufficient, ambitious, determined, and controlled. Next slide. No, go forward. Yeah, thank you. So, the darker the color, the greater the perception of authority. Next one. So you see the combination of. So in the corporate world, what do you see most? Black suit or gray suit? So now you understand why. Right? Next one. Right? Red and black. You see the powerful combination there? Next one.
Navy blue and hues of blue, right? Next one. Okay, let's pause here. This is Obama in 2008. This was when he first came out to contest as president, right? What color of tie is he wearing? All through the campaign. So go back and watch the video. All through his campaign for the Yes We Can, his first year, he wore red tie all through. So what was he saying? Let's go back to the red color.
Power.
He was saying, power, I've got energy, I've got passion, I've got drive, I've got determination, I've got courage. And then he was wearing red and black. And he says, strong, authoritative, dominant, controlled. Was he authoritative in his first year? Was he? Mm-hmm. Was he?
Yeah.
Obama was, right? Mm-hmm. But you see the funny thing. They didn't know that he was already authoritative during his campaign. Before he became president. He was already telling them what he was wearing. So people that understand colors will actually know what this guy is saying. Per time. All right? So next one. His second year in government. Or his second campaign. No, go forward. Yeah. He switched to what? Blue. So what is blue? Let's go back. Blue says what? Confident, trustworthy, honest, reliable, integrity, responsibility, care, calming, with tension. And they switch to blue. Go forward. Right? He understood colors and then used it well. So when you understand colors, you'll be careful with what color you're wearing. Because you can actually wear a particular color to someone's office and the person understands colors. And then he'll be reading what you're saying. You'll be saying right and seeing left. Does that make sense? So understand the colors you wear. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't wear your colors, but understand
The reason
colors
why
you
you're
wear.
using them.
Next one. So how colors affect you? So you have red, you have blue, you have green. So red triggers appetite, stirs up excitement, energizes you and raises your strength and self-confidence. So you wear red and you naturally just notice that there's this confidence, right? Mm-hmm. Have you ever dressed out and then you just feel overconfident? And your friends are actually, oh, but what is it? What's up? Why are you feeling hyper today? It's not your making, it's the color that is working. Do you understand? Colors speak. And then you have blue, you have green. Alright, so we'll have all of this. Okay? So understand what suits you, what works for you, and then go for it. Always strive to be heard, to be seen, and to be outstanding. Those three words are very key. Always strive to be seen, to be heard, and to be outstanding. Any question? Any question? Question. Let's round off. Question. Did it make sense at all? Was it worth it? Oh yeah? Was it worth it? It was. With ease. Any question? Let's question so we can. There's something I wanted to say earlier. Mm-hmm. Question while we are. Question. No question. So write this down if you can. It's an equation actually. So personal brand is equal to, you know what the sign is equal to is, right? Like the double dash. Okay. So personal brand is equal to strength multiplied by engagement. Do we have that? Strength multiplied by engagement. Do we have that? Plus value multiplied by engagement. Plus visibility multiplied by engagement. Strength multiplied by engagement, value multiplied by plus value multiplied by engagement, plus visibility multiplied by engagement. That gives you personal brand. So you have strength, you have value, you have visibility. If you do not engage, nobody will buy your product. Thank you very much. Life will not give you what you desire,
but what you demand.
I asked if anybody desired this, and you all said yes, and it was up here till the end of my session, and nobody got it.
Let's put our hands together for Doc, man. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we'll take three responses from people what you've learned. So we'll document it in the program. So should I pick randomly, or you just signify? Now I'm giving you choice, by force or by fire. Which one do you want? All right, so we want reactions, what you've learned so far in this session. You go, sir. Your name?
My name is Femi Olawi, and what I've learned is to avoid the urge to step out of the house ordinary. I need to be conscious of how I go out, no matter how casual the place may be. You need to be very definitive of it. When I mean that, I mean by your dressing. Thank you.
Oh, great. Put your hands together for him. Thank you. You want to say something too? What you've learned so far, yeah. Your name, please.
My name is Oyewole Odunaya. I've actually learned that, the last statement he made, which he said, life will not give you what you want, but what you demand. It's a very big word, and I'm actually holding that with my left hand.
Who did very well. No use and give change. All right. Yeah, ladies this time around. Thank you. So I want ladies. All right.
Understanding the colors I wear.
So expatiate a bit more. How much of it do you understand?
No, I will learn more about it. I'll go. Yeah.
Now you understand. Yeah. Okay, so there's nothing like capsule, not tetracycline colors. Yeah. I think it was even right that I asked the female, and that was the response she gave, which was good. A female can give some colors. Yeah. All right. Yeah, what you learned. So practice your public speaking now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Your name?
My name is Fisayo. Okay, so I think this is the first thing I'm taking away, to hold people by their face, their height, yeah. And also, talking to people, I always have that phobia, but I'm talking for many seconds now and I'm not having any phobia. So thank you.
Great. Okay, so lastly, Ma, I want you to talk. Yeah, so you are in the spirit, so I'm here. She said she knew I'm coming, so I'm here.
Okay, I learned about personal growth, which also translates to working on yourself, because if you don't learn new things, if you don't learn about what they are talking about outside, there's no way you are going to contribute. And that also displays your value. and what you know. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let's put our hands together for her. That's great. Okay, so I don't know what doctor wants to do as regarding the material, but it's definitely going to be available. So if you don't have your name registered while coming upstairs, so you please do that before you leave. So then the certificate is also important. You know, while I took my session, I said add more value to yourself. So this certificate, you never can tell. It can just be the only reason why you are employed or you are ahead of the other people that are submitting their resume. You understand? So certificate is very important. How many dollars again, please? 13.9. I said about $14. It's affordable. Buy it now because next week dollar is going to be like 8,000 right? So do that now. And there's a good news in the house for those that came early. So there is that document their name that you registered. So we're going to go through the list. We'll check the names. So the youth ministry is giving a 50% discount off for the certificates. That's for the first 10 people. Put your hands together for the youth ministry now. You can do better now. So for the first 10 people, right? Is not correct? Is that what he said? Why? How is not? This is what we do here. The two lists will pick 5 year, 5 year. Wait. Just wait. What happened? What's your?
We came earlier, like the first 10 that came. That was what he said.
Yeah.
On Sunday, that the first 10 that came.
So you people already know yourself that came. No problem. That will be reviewed definitely. But the youth ministry is giving 50% minus ESCOs already, definitely. So 50% discount for the first 10 people that will be reviewed, no doubt, right? So how many of us had a good time already? So you can follow Dr. Enopraise on IG, right?
Yeah, you can follow me on. Okay, so you can follow me on IG. I don't know why they call that stuff IG. It's Instagram. All right. So you can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I am strong on LinkedIn because that's where my market is. Okay. I don't do. So Facebook is like Bugwero. Everybody is there. Do you understand? But if you want to actually meet the people that owe your money, right? Know your media space. So you can follow me on all of the social platforms. Apart from Thread, I'm not on Thread. I don't understand what Thread is. Where they are trekking to. All right? I don't know where they are trekking to. All right? But but it's very important. I don't know if they can display the certificate. So most importantly, you might think that most people might think that it's just, it's paper. But let me give you a little background. Some years ago, I think about 2 or 3 years ago, I did a certification for human resource. It was a professional course, just a training like this for human resource. And it wasn't because I wanted to get a job. Do you understand? But it gave me leverage. And I was talking to a company that wanted me to recruit for them. And the first question they asked is, do you have a certification in human resource? And I said, yes. He said, okay, you have the job. They didn't even ask for any other thing. You have the job. We'll send you the contract. We'll send you the people that are meant to, the positions we have. Just recruit for us. So what if I said no? Do you understand? What if I said no? So this is, what it looks like. All right? And Chartered Institute of Management and Leadership is in the US. It's not a Nigerian institute, so it's not local. You can actually say you have an international certificate. Right? I think we should even stop calling it certificate. We should call it sabiticate. Right? It's what you sabi, isn't it? Yes. Do you understand? So if you can get it. It's
it's going to be helpful. You don't know when you're going to need it, but it's going to be really helpful. So what I'm going to do is,
I will advise a consultation so we can communicate to them.
okay, so
Yeah.
we would discuss and then get back to you on and get back. So we'll consult and then we'll see what we can do about that. All right. So we'll keep my what? My Instagram handle is simple. I am Enopraise. Yes, I am Enopraise. On IG is I am Enopraise. On Twitter is I am Enopraise. On Facebook it is. So if you type the I am Enopraise on Facebook, you will see the same thing. Yeah. So same.